Welcome back to Nothing But Drums. I'm John, and this show is all about drums, and I do some public access archives and some gear talk, and today we're going to do some gear talk. So if you like these videos, check out my page. I've got more videos you can look at. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want. Today we're going to talk about the TM6 Pro. Now I do have a video on this prior, but I didn't go into full depth. Just a few things about the TM6 Pro on that previous video. And today I want to show you how I use the TM6 Pro. So we're going to look at the module itself, how to hook it up, where I use it, and how I implement it. This is a module that's not too expensive. That's key. Sounds fantastic. You can record on the SD cards or import samples from SD cards to this. That's a big plus. It's lightweight, it's portable, and it has 6 outputs with the master left and right, and it has 6 inputs, and they are all quarter-inch or jack inputs, if you would. So this is actually very affordable and, what's the term I'm looking for? Accessible for what you want to do with it. You can make it into use a full electronic drum kit with it if you want. You can use your drums as a hybrid kit. It's marketed as a hybrid thing to do with your drums, and that's how I use it. So we're going to show you how I use the TM6 Pro when I go to small clubs and bars to play gigs. We'll be right back. What I like to do is I set up the TM6 Pro, and I like to trigger my kick drum. First, you need a drum trigger, of course. This is a Roland drum trigger. These triggers are great. Wish I had these back in the 90s. Some of the earlier triggers would double trigger. This does not. This sounds fantastic. It's got a little screw. You screw it onto your drum. You have single triggers, and you can have a dual trigger as well, but this is a single one for my kick drum. So what I do is I bring a trigger. I need 2 quarter-inch cables, one to go from the trigger to the module itself, and then from the module I go into a direct box, or I go into my own speaker. Now here's where it gets interesting. I like to bring my own speaker to a club, a bar, or even a club that has a PA. Unless it's a really big club that has 300 plus people, I'm not going to bring it, but at a smaller place that I usually play, I'm bringing a PA. So I basically bring my own PA system so I can trigger my kick drum so I get the sound that I want while I'm playing live every single time. Now what I have here, I don't know if you can see this in the shot, it's a black powered PA speaker. This is a Mackie speaker. This is a 12-inch speaker, and this is affordable. This is about $400 to $500 that I got this for. And it's plastic, but this thing sounds great. And it definitely puts out what you need to for a kick drum. What I like about the Mackie is it's all plastic, so it's lightweight, but the speaker sounds great. So I bring this with me. I bring an extension cord. I bring 2 or 3 quarter-inch cables if I want to also trigger my snare drum, my triggers, and of course, the module. Set all that up, and it takes a few minutes. People have to wait on me, and they don't like that, but it's okay because once I get it set up, it sounds great on stage. I could really, really boost this. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set it up. First, I want to put it right here on the kick drum. I have this case, which is really nice. So I take my module, I plug it in to a power strip at the club. Always bring your own power strip. That's a good tip. Make sure we can turn it on. Now I got my cables. Now mind you, while I'm doing this, the bass player is looking at me like, are you done yet? Can we get started? So there's a little bit of pressure. It takes me 12 minutes to set up my drum set. And then I have to set this up, which is another 3 minutes to 4. Quarter-inch cable goes under the trigger. I go into input 1. That's what I have designated for the kick drum. All right, now comes the fun part. So this is why I bring my own speaker, and I don't know if you can see that in the shot here. Let me get this over. This is the Mackie. I've got that plugged into the same power strip. And I'm going to plug right into mono out, which is left output of this. Then I quickly test it out. You should be able to hear this. I'm in business. So I've got sound from my speaker. I got power to the thing and my kick drum set up. Now I set up the rest of the drums. I'm good to go. Sounds like with the trigger. So this is just dry drums from my actual lavalier mic. So in the house it sounds fine, but now let's add the trigger. So this is the difference when you're at a club. You have your own control of your own sound. This again is from the lavalier mic. This is with the trigger turned on. Off, on. So that's huge. That's such a big difference. I love how that sounds. Like, I can control that myself. Don't have to worry about any sound guy. And I can get a really good sound out of the kick drum, which is nice. Also, I can change any sound I want. So right now I've got it on whatever that channel is. I'm going to change the other channel, the very first one. Let's see how that sounds. I like that. The original one. That's cool too. Pretty industrial, I love that. How it sounds dry. All right, so the advantage, obviously, it's a great sound. It's fun to do, but it's a little expensive. If you're playing out a lot, this is something to think about. It's a cool idea. It's easy to work with. You're bringing a new element on stage too, because you're enhancing your drum sound for yourself, but for the rest of the band. So at a small place, this works great. All right, so let's get back to the playing. I'm going to turn this back up, and ooh, that's pretty loud. And this is going to be the full mix from the recording. Alright, that's a TM6 Pro. That's a couple of the sounds from the kick drum, and I think it's just a neat way to play if you're playing at clubs and you want to get that drum sound you want, but you're at a small bar, you're not gonna. This is the way to do it. Bring your own speaker, and this module, it's fantastic. If you know how to set it up, you have the time and you have a little bit of extra money to do it, this actually is so rewarding when you play. Thanks for tuning in. It's Nothing But Drums, and we'll talk to you next time.